Hey everyone, today I'm going to teach you a little bit about how to play for the water in Polytopia. So, starting off with Zabasi here. Pretty strong tribe, being turn 0, slightly weaker than the other turn 0 tribes because it starts with a higher cost upgrade for your main capital. Instead of costing only 4 stars, it costs 5 to upgrade your capital on turn 0, but still incredibly strong, still an incredibly versatile pick, and a decent Zabasi player can definitely still hold their own against the other tribes in the game. Another advantage of Zabasi is they have very little forest. It's very sparse forests, so riding is a strong play early game to start securing those nearby critical villages. Yeah, we're gonna pick riding here. Yes, beautiful. Now, what I'm going to try and illustrate here is that, oh, that was strange, is that water is vital to winning the game on water maps like this. If whoever gets the water wins the game, essentially. So I'm just going to place the misclicked that. Doesn't really matter, I'm up against a bot, but I have the rider to save the day. Okay, so we're just upgrading our cities here. Nothing much to see. And once I get on the water, I will definitely start showing you some things here. Okay, so here, oh, that was pretty nice. It's gonna take pop growth. Alright, so here our enemy is Aquarian. And I'm gonna go for an aggressive giant pop on them, so I can try to take that city right away. This is a fantastic spawn. If I got this in like a competitive game, I would be very, very happy with it. Okay, let's see, where do we start? Now, you'll notice that a warrior in a boat, here's the first tip. A warrior in a boat is a very expendable unit, okay? So you can suicide them into stuff if you really desire. I would advise against suiciding too much because you don't want to give your enemy a Gate of Power monument, because then they'll try to pop a giant on you with it, or otherwise utilize it. But these are expendable, cheap units. And tip number 1 is that you don't want to be like, oh man, I have to quickly go for agriculture or aquaculture and sailing and navigation to get an advantage over my opponent. Another very common thing I see players, like a common trap I see players falling into, is when they see their opponent has a few boats on the map, they'll panic and buy aquatism because they think, okay, that defense bonus is going to level the playing field for me. But what you'll notice here is that aquatism costs 12, So 28 stars to get, because you have to obviously go through aquaculture. And 28 stars, so it costs 2 stars to make a warrior, and it costs 5 stars to make a scout, which is the most powerful naval unit in the game, in my opinion, because it's extremely versatile, extremely cheap, cost-effective unit, and it's very good at harassing enemy ships and just controlling the water. So spending 28 stars, that is 4 scouts worth of income that you could have had 4 scouts on the map that are holding their own, but now you have no scouts and you just have a little crappy defense bonus. So don't go for aquatism unless you think that it's a strong play. You can see here he runs away. Got a little explorer there, nothing crazy. Okay, I'm actually going to get that there. The first thing I always do is I get that there. So I'm gonna hit that guy there. Now, when you are going in with the scout, don't be too neurotic about where you place them. I would send at least 1 or 2 scouts in just blind to just get a good view, because vision in this game is critical. You know, if you don't have vision, then you really can't make sound plays because you don't know what's in front of you. So vision is a number 1. Now you'll notice that I didn't attack his ship. I attacked his amphibian. And there's 2 reasons for this. 1, I know he can't upgrade this ship into a scout or other type of ship because it's not within his city borders. So while it might be tempting to attack a completely defenseless structure, don't do it. Attack the guy that can actually hit your guy. And also, he's on a ruin, so he has to make a decision. Do I want to pull back this amphibian to save his life? Or possibly save his life? Or do I want to just take the ruin and then die? And give the Zabasi player 1 more kill towards their Gate of Power monument. So I've kind of placed him between a rock and a hard place here. His his raft is going to get harassed by scouts, and I'm going to start trickling an advantage on him that he's not going to be able to stop. And you see, I'm just going to make another boat. At this point, I will just start harassing him like that. And now, I already have a siege this early in the game. So, snowball your advantage. Yeah, and you can see there, he just bought aquaculture, so he's lost the game now, because now he's not going to be able to possibly compete with all the firepower I have on the board, and I'm just going to roll him off the map. You see how I'm just making a bunch of cheap units that are highly cost effective, but they're doing so much for me? That's what you want to do. You want to be in the driver's seat, so to speak. And now what I can do is blockade all of his ports. Make sure he's not anywhere else. Okay, and just look at the sheer advantage I have here over him. It's just wild. At this point I will take bomber tech. And look at this. He's just like... There's literally nothing he can do. And this is how a lot of actual human players... The situations a lot of human players get into. Because they'll make misplays and then next thing you know... Like, this might not look like a lot at first, but... The thing about this game is it's very snowbally. So you can take a little advantage. Say your opponent slips up. They buy a tech they shouldn't have bought. That means that you get to get an army advantage. And now I am on the board with total naval domination, with units that effectively cost me 7 stars. And he is not able to use his ports. You'll notice he tried to do that there. It's not going to work, because I'm just going to kill him. And I can keep replacing my... Oops. Didn't mean to do that. I can keep replacing my guys at a high rate, and obviously this game's over. But what I want you to learn is that don't waste your money on techs that you shouldn't buy. Just use what's relevant. I've won most of my games with only sailing against players that were decent. And it's because they're underestimating the power of a relatively low-cost unit. And they usually go for rammers to try and counter it, but you can just keep snowballing your lead anyway, despite the rammers. They just take a few shots from your scouts, and that's it. Yeah, just hopefully you can do better on the water. And I will make some videos soon, maybe some more play-by-plays. Those are good. Live games against actual opponents that you can learn from. But yeah, alright, checking out. Peace out.